Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to another estrogen-filled month. This time we're talking about a 2018 American heist comedy directed by Gary Ross, yes, written by Ross and Olivia Milch. The film is both a continuation and a spin-off from Steven Soderbergh's Ocean's trilogy and features an ensemble cast of a bunch of women. Ocean's 8. Yeah, this is the female version of Ocean's 11, basically. The film follows a group of women led by Debbie Ocean, the sister of Danny Ocean from the first three films, who plays a sophisticated heist, yes, sophisticated heist at the annual Met Gala at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City. New York City! And I could say this movie's not terrible. It has problems, but it's not terrible. It's a $70 million budgeted film from summer 2018. It did pretty well. It made a lot of money worldwide because it made about 297 million. Does this need a sequel? No, it does not need a sequel because I think a one and done is what it needs to be. I think the next one should just, if they do another one, either do it with men and women or just do it with something different. You know, I don't know how much more this franchise can go because I'm like the sequels were already a bit forced. 2 was garbage and the third one was a bit better. It wasn't. It just didn't top the first one. The first one was lightning in a bottle. Had a great cast of Don Cheadle, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon. I mean, this one you have a bunch of women, some talented women here, but the lead is a bit wonky for me. This film came out, June 8th, 2018, 11 years to the day of the original. It got a lukewarm reception from critics because it's basically the first film again, guys, just with vaginas. But it's not as clever. That's all I'm going to say. They applauded the cast but found the film underwhelming and less consistent than the other films because the women in this movie can do anything because, females. They don't have superpowers, I'll give them that, but, the way they can steal things so easily is just kind of unbelievable in the film. But like I said, the cast, you have Sandra Bullock. Not a fan of this actress, not since Speed 2, because the first Speed, she's good. Everything else she's done, I've been very, very, lukewarm on her myself. I don't know what happened to her face. She's aging way too fast. You also have Kate Blanchett. Like the actress, she was great in Thor Ragnarok, Indiana Jones 4, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and that one Hobbit film that she appeared in. But here, her accent is kind of inconsistent. Once she sounds American, then she sounds Southern, and then she sounds British, and then she sounds Australian. It's too much. She has like 4 different accents. I'm like, pick one and stick with it. Don't do 3 accents. It kind of slips in and out. Aquafina, I like her in the film. She's basically a take on the Asian guy that was in the first 3 films, the Japanese guy that speaks no English, which was kind of a problem for me in those films. She plays Constance. She's the pickpocket street hustler, and she's very funny in the film. You got Rihanna. She didn't need to be in the film. She's the tech girl. She just is on a computer for the whole freaking movie until the end, until the 3rd act. Mindy Kaling, I like her. She's fine. She's she wants to move out of her mom's house, and she has a whole thing that she does. Then you also have Helen Bonham Carter. She was pretty funny for what she does. She does an Irish accent, and she's kind of cute. She has a line. She's like, "I'm old," and then the girls kind of comfort her, so she's kind of cute. Sarah Paulson's also pretty cool. She's fences stolen goods out of her suburban home. Yeah, she's a good actress. I like to see her there. But like I said, there's one actress that was underused in this film that they should have used more of. Anne Hathaway. She plays Daphne Kluger, and she's a beautiful film star. Of course she is. I mean, that's basically what Anne Hathaway is. Annie Hathaway, if you know what she likes to be called. But there's a lot of scenes that she's barely in it. Like she doesn't even join the girls until the end of the film. So they kind of wasted her. They put her on the poster and all the marketing, and she's not one of the girls, one of the lead chicks. I mean, you could have take out Rihanna and put Anne Hathaway there. Just saying, because Anne Hathaway's an actress. Rihanna's not. She's a singer. Richard Armitage, yeah, the men in this movie are completely useless. I know, it's supposed to offend me because I'm a man, but they don't bash them. They're just not in the film that long, and they don't need to be there. Like, you have Richard Armitage. He was in the Hobbit films. I think he's the villain. He's the art dealer who framed Debbie for a crime he instigated. Yeah, so he's the main villain. He doesn't do anything for me. James Corden. Do I have to say any more? Okay, I will. He's not in the film that much. He's in the second half of the film. He's not funny. He's an insurance fraud investor. He didn't need to be there. Dakota Fanning, yeah, She's in a cameo. She plays Penelope Stern, and she's a celebrity who's Daphne is jealous of. I don't know why. There are some cameos here though. You have Marlo Thomas, you have Dana Ivey, Mary Louise Wilson, Elizabeth Ashley as mature actresses who help the cruise ship. You also have Anne Winter. You have Katie Holmes, Maria Sharapova. Yeah. Also, that was another problem for me. The movie has way too many cameos. I'm like, guys, this is not freaking the remake, the Entourage movie or the Muppets. You don't need to have 18 cameos. We get it. A lot of celebrities go the to freaking galas and things in Manhattan. We get it, but there's just too many of them. You have they just like appear on screen and then they're gone. I'm like cameo, like the Nostalgia Critic said in the last Action Hero review. Cameos have to make sense. If they're just thrown in there, you're just filling time. That's another problem with the movie. Just like with Wonder Woman 84, 110 minutes. You could have taken 20 minutes out of this running time. It will flow better. Just cut out all the cameo filler. Cut out any of these scenes that go on for way too long. There's a scene, I'm not shitting you, bullshitting you. There's two scenes in the movie where they have to speak in foreign language because that was in the last three films. Sandra Bullock is speaking German. I'm like, we get it. You can speak German. Fuck off. And then there's a scene where Helen Bonham Carter is speaking French out of nowhere. And I'm like, the scene goes on too long. Just get to the heist and get to it. Have a faster pace. And Soderbergh did not direct this movie. I can definitely feel the difference. Gary Ross did the first Hunger Games, right? Yeah, that's one of the reasons why the pacing was kind of awful. But I don't hate the film. I think it's a decent standalone film, even though it's a lot like the first one. The girls are beautiful. Some of the girls. There are some jokes here and there that work. I like Aquafina made me laugh. Helen Bonham Carter. Uh, there's a scene where Anne Hathaway's vomiting, and I don't think that's funny, but she could be funny. Just use her more. You know, uh, that's one of the reasons why the critics didn't love it because it's just the first movie with women, and I like that it's trying to be progressive. I get it, but you could cut a lot of stuff out of this. You don't need James Corden. Either make him a cameo for 5 seconds or don't put him in the movie. Richard Armitage is not a threatening villain. He's very forgettable. Um, like I said, the women are not the problem. I'm not a sexist. I think the women are fine, most of them. Bullock, I just thought was miscast. You could have made Hannah Hathaway the lead. The consensus was Ocean's 8 isn't quite as smooth as its predecessor, but still has enough cast chemistry and flair to enjoyably lift the price of a ticket from filmgoers up to an undemanding caper. Yeah, I didn't see this in the theater. I saw this on cable, I think last year in 2019, and it's fine for what it is. The thing is, I wanted more. I wanted, like not just another heist in a freaking, highbrow place, but do something different. Go do a heist in a freaking bank vault, or do it in Fort Knox, or do it in I don't know, a train or something different, guys. Do something different. Responses from the actors. They said Kaling and Blanchett attributed the mixed reception to the dominance of male critics and a lack of diversity. Again, this movie has a lot of diversity. You have a black girl, you have an Asian girl, you have an Indian girl, and you have a bunch of women from Australia and the UK. What else do you want? You want a freaking Ethiopian woman, which I don't even know if they even have those, or a woman from freaking like Middle East or something. Again, you have enough diversity. Male dominated movies, you know why they make the most money? Because guys like to see something badass. They don't want to be bored. They don't want to see a almost 2 hour melodrama. Granted, the movie's not too dark or anything, which I like that. They were making a comedy this time. They knew what they were making. It was a heist comedy, and I did laugh a couple of times. It wasn't unfunny. It's just that, again, diversity. You tried to do diversity with Fembusters, and that failed. You tried to do that with Charlie's Angels, and that failed because guys don't care to be bashed in movies. And we also, with guys, they're going to pick up a gun and shoot somebody. They don't really do that in these movies that much. And really, the characters are kind of like just generic versions of the characters in the first film. Because Sandra Bullock is Danny Ocean with a vagina. That's it. There's nothing to her character. She's not even that. I don't remember her, traits. Mindy Kaling, she's the girl that steals a jewel. Anne Hathaway is just a girl that is famous because she's beautiful, and I don't blame her for that. Helen Bonham Carter is the Irish girl. Aquafina is the hustler. I get her character. They should have done focus more on her because she was interesting. The other ones, Rihanna's on a computer. I do that every day, guys. It's not something you don't need special skills to know how to use a computer. There's just too many characters in the movie. Too many. In Ocean's 8, it was like mainly like five to six guys. It wasn't 18 of them because you had Clooney, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, the Asian guy, Don Cheadle, the Jewish guy with the glasses, and some old guy. I think that was it. That's seven. That's not 18. It's just this one is a little bit overstuffed. Like with eight women and then some side characters, it just felt a little bit overstuffed. But it is funny. I would recommend it for some of the laughs. I did laugh a couple of times out loud with my sister, and some of the performances are good. It's a good looking film. Gary Ross knows how to keep the camera running. Really well. It's good shots, good cinematography, a decent enough budget, and the soundtrack was okay. But like I said, you didn't need all this. And it's not that these are SJWs or not, but still, Kaling cited actress Meryl Streep's criticism of Rotten Tomatoes, saying that there's an obvious audience out there to want to watch things like Ocean 8 what I work on, or Sarah Paulson works on. Think white men. I'm not white, so I take no offense to what Brie Larson said years ago. I keep telling people that I'm not white. Look at my face. I'm not white. And I never took offense to that because, again, I'm not one of those highbrow critics that want to just see a bunch of people suffering and they call that art. No, I want to be entertained. Yeah, away because they don't understand it, because they come at a different point of view and they're so powerful. Rotten Tomatoes. Several film journalists strongly disagree with claims that the reception had been dictated by gender. It's not gender politics, guys. It's the source material. We already had three movies with a bunch of guys and girls during the heist. Putting just a bunch of females and doing the same thing, that's not something different. It's really not. It's just a decent follow up to the first movie. It should have been women doing something different. Instead of a heist in a gallery, do a heist somewhere else, on a train, a plane. Do it on a freaking, I don't know, I don't care, a freaking truck. Just do something different. I'm not expecting these girls to do flips and jump and run like the Flash. No, I want to see something different. Having a bunch of females is fine. I'm fine with that, but do something different. That's like doing a Bourne movie with a woman. Again, if you do the same thing, it's not going to be interesting. It wasn't like that. It says uh, they concurred the negative response on some male film critics. An Asian American critic from the Los Angeles Times argued that the film's criticism needed increased diversity, but we negate the possibility of sympathetic imagination, and we assume that someone's particularly affinity for a work of art will be dictated in advance by specifics of race, gender, and age. It doesn't matter. I don't care about gender politics, guys, in my movies. Just give me a good story. This was a decent story, but it could have been better. Just like with Wonder Woman. There's a good movie in there somewhere, but there's a lot of stuff you could have cut out. Here, same thing. 20 minutes. Chop it. Movie's 90 minutes. There you go. You go home happy. Do your shit in 90 minutes or less and get out of there. You don't need 18 characters. You can admit, Josh, if you've seen this movie, and I know you did, you don't need 18 characters. In a movie like this, you only need the eight. Either need eight girls that you're going to use, not sit on their ass like freaking Rihanna, and do something different. That would have caught my attention more. That's why I didn't see this in theaters. Not because I'm a man. I'm not a misogynist. It's just I want to see something different. And it is better than Ocean's 12 because I had men and women, and there's just a lot of padding. But like I said, it could have been better. And Sandra Bullock is not the best lead. Trust me, guys. I didn't see Gravity for that reason. And just it's my bias. It says some movies are more about parallel play than actual playground interaction, and despite a screen full of terrifically skillful talents, Ocean's 8 never quite gets its ensemble act together. Yeah, because it's just too many characters. With the original, you had a couple of characters, and even the old guys with the glasses and the other old guy with the Russian accent or whatever, they're not in the film that much. It's mostly Danny Ocean, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, freaking Don Cheadle, and the Asian guy, and that's pretty much it. And there's like two other guys in the film too, those two brothers, but played by Casey Affleck and that other guy. But again, they didn't feel like add-ons. They were in the film and they add personalities at least. Here, I only knew like a couple of them. And there's a reason this did not get a sequel, because Captain Marvel's getting a sequel because it earned it. It made $1 billion. And with all the hate that movie got, it didn't have gender politics in it all the way through. Just saying, I didn't feel that. With this, It's a little bit there. Not there's no the characters are not SJWs, but the men should have been more memorable in the movie. Is all I'm saying. Elliot Gould, was he in the first film? Yeah, he makes a cameo in this because it has to connect to the first film. Do your own thing. That's why The Mandalorian's been successful the past 2 years because it did its own thing. It didn't have to bring the Force into every single scene and remind you of the originals all the time. It did something different. WandaVision's doing something different. It's taking the MCU, making it smaller and funny. Different. See? Different. I don't hate this movie though. This is not a rant. It's just that they could have done better. Cut the running time in half. Make the women do something different on a different location, and just do the heist. Plan the heist in 15 minutes. You get to the heist. You don't have to take an hour and 10 minutes to do that. I'm sorry. You got to have a faster pacing than that, Gary Ross. This isn't the Hunger Games where you have a bunch of books to adapt into one film or into several films. This is a movie based on a series of movies that came out in the 2000s. And maybe audiences just didn't want another Ocean's film. Didn't hate it, but could have been better. But if you want to see the film, I would say you can watch it. I would skip Ocean's 12 and just see the first one, this one, and then Ocean's 13 because at least that one ends on a high note. At least for me, they did something in this film that I did not like in the beginning, but I'm not going to spoil too much. But like I said, cut the cameos in half. You can have 2 cameos. Don't have 18, and you know give Anne Hathaway more to do. Do something different. Stop copying the first movie and just putting vaginas in it. That's not going to work in this decade. It will not work. Just do your own thing. Don't bring gender politics and agendas and bullshit SJW schemes into your freaking films. That's not what we want to see films. We want to be entertained. While this film is entertaining, it could have been cut in half, the running time. Just make it a little bit shorter because I don't have all day. But anyway, that's my review for Ocean's 8. I'm sorry I went in a long tangent, but like I said, it's not about gender politics, guys. I ain't afraid of vaginas. Just get people that actually can act, that I care about. A handful of them I do. Some of them I don't. I don't like Sandra Bullock. Rihanna's not an actress. And some of the men in the movie are just there. They're not really like colorful and have personalities. This is why Sonic the Hedgehog made more money because it had personality and made me laugh out loud, and it brought a lot of nostalgia. I didn't have nostalgia for these films. I didn't see them until like last year. Ocean's 1, Ocean's 11, 12, and 13. I saw it all last year. Didn't grow up with them, but like I said, it's a franchise that's a mix of quality. The first one's really good. The second one sucks. Third one's decent. Is a bit better. This one is more in the middle road. It's not horrible. It's not great. It's just right in the middle, decent. But that's my opinion. So thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next review.